Okay, appears we're rolling. Welcome to my Big Ten football half-ass picks, where I'll be documenting my half-ass against the spread picks for every Big Ten conference football game. I'll be making my selections right on the spot, immediately after viewing the point spreads for the first time, thinking out loud for the sake of the video as I do it. There will be no excessive studying or number crunching beyond what I show you in this video, thus the title half-assed. And the production is kind of half-assed as well, as I'm not tech savvy and I don't plan on doing much editing, if any at all. As I said, I'll be thinking out loud, so there may be some dead air because sometimes my brain just hits the pause button for a few seconds. I'll try to timestamp each game if you want to skip ahead. Okay, here we go. That was my scripted intro, much of which doesn't apply to this week, but it's the way we kick things off on this thing every week, so I'm sticking it in there. And to be honest, this whole post is kind of scripted too. There's no games to do, so I'm just kind of setting the table here. So I made some notes. It'll probably sound like I'm reading, and in a lot of cases I will be. Today's date is 8/25, Tuesday. And yes, I'm back for more. Last season was a disaster as I didn't have a good enough internet connection to upload in a timely manner, so I had to abort. But hopefully I got that fixed for this season. My record ended up being 38, 41, and 2. And I guess you have to take my word for it because I only got like 2 or 3 posts up before things went bad. And I won't ever lie about my picks if they somehow don't get uploaded here. I think there's instances in the past where I displayed that. And besides, if I was going to lie, I'd make up a better record than that. It wasn't very good. But I did get a rare Hoover in week 7. I went 9-0. But to give you an idea how bad a start I got, that only brought me back to even for the year. So hopefully we won't get off to a start like that this season. So this brings my overall record for the project since we started it to 178, 167, and 5, and for the first time puts me behind money-wise if you consider a 10% juice for losses. So I can't really call this thing a success. But it's not that bad of a record if you consider I'm picking every game as opposed to cherry picking the good ones. And I still haven't turned in the great season that I would have every few years. Every few years I kind of have like the one just have a very successful season. It just hasn't happened since we started this project. So I'm kind of confident that's coming. I'm used to having that occur every once in a while. So I'm confident even though I'm at 500. And maybe that's just false hope because I enjoy watching the games. And really have come to enjoy doing these posts, even though not many people listen to it. So it's just as much for me as it is for anyone else. So since this is the first post of the season, and there's no conference game scheduled, I'll use this post to reestablish the premise for this project, which is essentially that I used to spend a lot more time studying the teams and would only play the games that look good to me, as opposed to picking every conference game. I did this for many seasons, but the results were lukewarm. I was coming out ahead, but not by much. So while I did have an edge, it wasn't big enough for me to feel comfortable, scaling up my bets. So a few years ago, I gave up the studying one season. I just finally gave it up. I was putting like hours into it. So, but when the season came along, I would look at the point spreads each week, and it would take me about 5 minutes to underline who I thought would cover. And I noticed I was keeping track of it on paper, and I noticed at the end of the year I had a pretty good season. So I thought maybe I was overthinking the games and should rely on the instinct that that I've acquired from doing this for so many years, watching the Big Ten for so long. So the following season, this project was born. I still watch the games when I can. I like to follow the conference, but my approach is a lot more, half-assed. While I used to cook out while watching the games, I now watch the games while I'm cooking out. And I do still watch the Big Ten Network during the week for updates. It's a great source. But that's about all the research I'll be using aside from what I show you in my videos. And I will say that expanding to 18 teams to follow, has made it more difficult. There's a lot less teams in the conference back when I decided to focus on the Big Ten only, and I did that so I wouldn't have to study every team in the country. But if this keeps going, I'm probably going to have to study every team in the country again. So trying to get all my picks done in 1 hour, I had 1 hour time limit for my recording, and the 18 teams was a problem too. So, 9 games when we had a full conference slate in 1 hour was making me force. I didn't have enough time to do picks. I know it's a reaction video kind of, and I'm doing them on the spot, but we do a little bit of studying here, a little bit of studying on this video here with some of the stats, and I need more than like 4 minutes a game to do that. But with my new internet speed, I should be able to upload 2 videos in plenty of time. So when we get into the weeks like that, where it's a full slate of 9 games, I'll probably be splitting my picks into 2 videos. But we won't have any conference games for a few weeks yet. But I will still make a short post each week until we get into it. So the next few posts, won't get into it till like week 3, I think. So the next few posts will be pretty much useless to our purpose, other than to because we won't have any games to pick, but other than it will establish a schedule for me, and it will iron out any defects that may come up on my side. So as I said, we won't get into the conference games till week 3, so the next few are going to be kind of like just fluff. So, but once we get going, we'll hopefully have a good season. So here we are, and here we go. Good luck to me.